Good evening out there. This Mike back. Soberheadz podcast, one day at a time. We back with episode 20, and I got a very special guest tonight. I heard this young lady tell her story a couple years ago, and once I saw her on social media on Facebook, I said I gotta bring her on the podcast, man. And I can't believe that I did 20 episodes already, man. But thanks for coming on, Darlene. How you doing tonight?
I'm blessed by the best, thankful, grateful, and blessed to be a part of this, monumental moment. I'm humbled that you saw me to see me as a productive member of society to move forward with you in keeping our society clean and green, helping somebody else one day at a time. So I'm humbled and
All
honored to be
praises.
here.
All praises. How long have you been clean?
I've been clean for 12 years.
All praises. Yeah, I just celebrated 5 years sober from alcohol April 1st. All
Yes,
praises.
May 15th.
I remember when I couldn't even get a day. It's all
Yes.
praises.
Yes, I remember. See, I'm not a first time winner, so yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yes.
couldn't get a day. All right, Darlene, this is the floor is yours. Share your experience, strength, and hope with us.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I rushed in here too. Got off the bus, got on one wrong bus to get on my correct bus, ran to the store, and I knew I had to make this commitment. My name is Darlene, and I'm a grateful recovering addict. You know, um, my story, as harsh as it was, it needs to be told, and I'm hoping that somebody can identify and that you can get something from this and it can help you along the way. I started out being born into this world, a hopeless, helpless infant. Born into the darkness, into the savagery of abuse, the seven dynamics of mental, emotional, verbal, spiritual, psychological, violent, and sexual abuse. You know, um, and all my life, left to my devices, I walked around not knowing, you know, um, how to be a mother. Um, Basically the chameleon, merely existing from what was entrusted upon me as a child. You know what I'm saying? As the abusers were abusing me. At will, doing whatever they wanted to when they wanted to, savagely assaulting me, in the family of abuse. The ones that walked by would like to think that they didn't participate, as they heard the cries, but they went on, you know what I'm saying, to dress up and mess up the other family members that they, call themselves saving their face and their behind too at the same time, while I was sacrificed, to go through some horrific moments in my life. And I lived like that, merely existing. I lived with the abuse. I was merely existing, and my great aunt had got me at a time, and thank God that the state found out that this was going on. Is because I got hit by a car, and that's when they found out, saw all the abuse, the neglect. I didn't know how to talk. I could barely walk. I was really damaged. I was damaged goods. And so when my great aunt, my grandmother got me first, and then they said she was too old. Dyfus said she was too old, so she asked them, could her sister, my great aunt, take care of me, and so they allowed that to happen. And I stayed with my aunt until probably when I was maybe about, I don't know, 13, 15 years old. But during the course of it, things started to unravel because family members, because we are only as sick as our secrets, they were still sick with this and living with this and hiding this secret. And one day, one of my aunts came over, my grandmother's other sister, and she was drunk. And they would always say that her and my other cousin were crazy. They miserable, this, that, and the third, right? But I realized back then that they weren't. They were trying to tell a story, and everybody shutting them up and telling everybody that they were crazy. But they were trying to bust the lid off the horrific things that were going on in the family, right? That, the sickness. And so, so they were labeled. And so, as time went on, I can remember when my aunt because as my great aunt had me, that was the only mother I knew. See, because I had been reconditioned, right? Because all the pain, the drama, all that was out of my life because someone was now nurturing and caring for me at the age of like 5 years old. So, I've been sexually assaulted since I got into this world. And so with the violence and all the things that I had to endure, somebody finally loved me. And so when they finally loved me, everything else was out of sight, out of mind. But when my aunt got mad and told her one day, you need to tell that girl that she has another mother. I didn't know nothing about triggers until I surrendered. We'll get to that. It triggered the trauma back inside of me. And I started remembering. And so my behaviors started displaying from the abuse, from the sexual abuse, the violent abuse, the mental, emotional. Now I had become unstable again. Trauma kicked back in. You know what I mean? And as back in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, they would wanted to have capped all of that nobody knew that this was going on in the families. Because back then, we were considered middle class Black people. And so, everybody would want to keep that in the house, and it's a secret. So what they did is they kept the lid on the abuser or the abusers. And because the victim, the abused, i.e. me, started displaying the behaviors, it was time to abandon me again. So I got abandoned yet again at 15 years old because my behavior started displaying, you know what I'm saying, based on the trigger. And so, we had people that worked I had family that worked in Department of, Human Services, this, that, and third. Family that could have prevented all of this happening to me. Yet, instead, it was better to get rid of me, abandon me, throw me back out into the wolves, and keep the lid on the monster, the wolf that still exists in the house, in the closet, in the dark, right? And they threw me out in the darkness, back into a dark place that I didn't know nothing about. So, of course, I'm at the age of 15. So now my aunt's daughter convinced her to get rid of me. So now I'm at one family member that didn't care about me, and I couldn't play with the kids. I couldn't go in her daughter's room, this, that, and the third. I'm at an uncle and aunt house, that everybody kept labeling me. Oh, she bad, she this, she that, yada, yada, right? All these things that they were thrusting upon me, making me feel some kind of way, right? So finally, the family just said, okay, that's it. Nobody in the family should deal with her. I wound up into a foster home. And in this foster home at the age of 15, I'll never forget it. I was born 16. There was sexual abuse going on in there. There was so much stuff going on in there. And do you think at the 3 places that I was abandoned to and from and neglected from, that DIFUS would have checked in on me or any other or the other kids? No. It was easier to just let everything be. So what I did is, one day I was taking a bath and I'm noticing that the door handle is moving as I locked it. They were peeping in the peephole, watching me dress, undress in the bathroom, in my bedroom, this, that, and the third. So I'm winding up fighting one of the family members' granddaughters. It was so much going on that finally I just ran away. I left and I went into the streets. And when I left, I didn't have nothing to go on except what I had, the pain. Me and my pain, that's all I knew. Me and my pain. Pain was my friend. And see, now I can run, still not knowing, right? Merely existing, as life was still standing right there by me. And I talked about today, life was waiting for me to show up because I didn't think I had a life. I didn't know nothing about living. I knew how to exist. I knew how to submit. And now I know how to run. And now I can fight and run until I can't fight no more. And I just let you have your way. And then I can get up and run. From the trauma, from the pain, from being abused from total strangers in the streets because they spotted me, because they got me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned from the programs we attract what we attract, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a used and abused victim. So I was attracting abusers and users.
Mm.
See, we attract what we attract. I was a victim. I was attracting victimizers. And because
Mm.
I didn't know that no means no, because as a child, when we're screaming and hollering and saying no, and other people that are listening to us and hearing us scream and holler and walking by, abandoning us, leaving us in the darkness with the monsters as he's beating us or, just terrorizing us, tearing us apart inside out, we learn to be submissive.
Mm.
They teach us to be submissive. Sooner or later, they're going to break you and you become submissive. The manipulation, the mind brainwashing, all of that. Nobody loves you. And don't nobody come in here. Ain't nobody open up the door to protect you. You're mine. I can do whatever I want to do to you, and nobody's going to stop this. And that's really, in a nutshell, it really is what it is.
Mm.
We're children, we're defenseless. Just like they was protecting all the dressed up and messed up ones that they dressed up and messed up. Why didn't you protect me the same way?
Mm.
Why don't nobody love me? Why, So I'm walking around. Now that I can run, I'll be submissive. I took a lot of ass whoopings in the streets too. I took a lot of
Mm.
rapes.
Mm.
I took a lot of stuff. I got hit one time so bad up in my mouth that my teeth went up in here, and I had to go get emergency surgery the next day by a guy. Most guys always thought that because I was light skinned, I had the body, I belonged to them, or I should be with them. Why you was such and such and not with me? And so I'm in the street, so I'm trying to please everybody, including abusers. Okay, well, as long as we're around with some people that I know, because I'm the chameleon and I can, sit with them, that, and the third. But reality, when all the people that I done please go away, and I'm still left with the victimizer, I have to resort back to what I know, left to my own devices. I got to take these behind whoopers. I got to take the rape. I got to take all this. But the only difference now is I can run.
Mm.
I can run now. And even though I see you, I can go a different kind of way. I don't have to come that way. I can go around the whole block and not see you. And if I see you again, even if I come that way, I'm going to run. I'm not going to tell nobody, but I'm going to run.
Mm.
Because it's embedded that nobody cares about me. Who you going to tell? Nobody loved me from the beginning. Nobody cared about me from the beginning. My abuser taught me this as the other abusers walked past the door. They showed me. It's a learned behavior. So I walked through life all masked up, dressed up and messed up on the inside, not knowing that sex didn't equal love.
Mm.
I didn't know that. I knew that if I laid down and I became submissive, sooner or later you'll stop. Because I'm so familiar with what the words that you're telling me. Because I'm already brainwashed and conditioned to believe that. Because I don't know no other way. Nobody showed me another way. See, because I don't know no other way. So I have to be submissive to you. I have to do what you tell me to do. The only difference now is I can run. Soon as you get off of me or allow me to just step a little bit closer to that door to turn that knob, I'm off. Fight or flight. Most of the time, it was always flight. I had no fight.
Mm.
And when I did learn how to fight, I was trying to fight everything and everybody up off of me, out of my way. And the biggest fight I had was inside of me, not knowing who I was.
Mm.
Identity crisis. I got labeled in the streets by my community, a community of people that boys were luring me, pulling trains on me, and then turned around and told the community that I was a hoe, and they pulled trains on me, and I allowed them to do these things to me. I walked around with so much of the weight of the world on my shoulder, not knowing, you know what I'm saying, that I could have told somebody because nobody told me that I could. So I walked around with all of this trauma, living with traumatic events, traumatized, people pleasing, the chameleon. I learned how to maneuver through the pain. I learned how to be somebody else outside of myself because I never was who I was supposed to be. No one allowed me to be her. They allowed me to be everything else. The woman, the adult that's supposed to be submissive to grown men, sexually abusing her, beating on her. We're children. Children that are abandoned and neglected and put into the monster's arms, the hands, and the bed of the monster. To be treated any kind of way that monster want us to be treated, while everybody else walked on by trying to calling themselves saving face for the other children, teaching them to victimize us too. And so during the course of my life, everyone has abandoned me, made me feel the guilt, the shame, and the embarrassment of everything that I went through that they could have stopped or prevented, but allowed to happen to me with no cares or concerns. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Long as it wasn't somebody else. And this is why I talk about a lot of this in my, when I do my videos about, living with the abuse and how some of these people or some of the kids think that they were never touched by it. Yes, you were. You just dressed up and messed up because you think because mommy and daddy saved you and told you that it was okay to victimize somebody. That's the mental and emotional abuse that you're being, taught up and brought up on, to sit high and look low on somebody that's being a victim. Now you're taught to be the victimizer too. You know what I mean? And then we abandon our families. See, my family abandoned me. From the day that I was born, I was abandoned. I was neglected. I was rejected. I lived like this. And so as I got older, going to school, knowing that I made good grades, top classes in Trenton, New Jersey. I made the grades, but because I was triggered, I was afraid to succeed. So I started running around with people just like me. So thus come that cigarettes, then came the alcohol. Now I've been on other drugs, boat. Weed was never in my forte. I just didn't like that. But boat became my very best friend because it took me out of my body. It took me to another place. But I didn't know it was going to be the gateway to the beginning of a new hell that I was getting ready to enter into. So, now I'm running the streets. I'm a runaway. I'm being raped. I'm going through stuff. And, as I saw through the family coming up, I saw how alcohol and drugs had become their friend. That's when they were at their happiest. Until it started coming down. And then some of the sick stories started coming out. Everybody's starting to label everybody now. We got the fight and this, that, and the third. But nonetheless, I can remember, okay, that made them happy in the beginning. Let me try that too. And I was happy. You know what I'm saying? I had become happy
Mm-hmm.
until the high went away. I was
Mm-hmm.
more downer. I became
Mm-hmm.
more down and more depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I'm looking for more excitement. I'm looking for something better. You know, I done became, I'm running from everything. I'm running from, didn't know myself, right? I'm just running, like the phoenix, right? He's on fire. I was on fire like the phoenix. The phoenix bursts into flames, right? Before it can become. The phoenix is on fire until the fire starts dimming out and it becomes mere ashes,
Mm.
right? It becomes mere ashes. And then out of the ashes, the phoenix rises. It has become, it's not on fire anymore. It has become, see, I was on fire. My phoenix had wasn't rising yet, right? So now I'm here, I'm there, I'm living here. I'm not, see, because I knew how to maneuver because we're skillful people. We're very
Mm-hmm.
skillful people. So I knew how to maneuver, how to stay at somebody's house 2 and 3 weeks at a time. Because I still had some stuff from when my great aunt had me. I knew how to take care of a house. I knew how to wash. I knew how to clean. I knew how to shop. I knew how to cook. And I'm a very funny person. So I used all of that to get in where I could fit in. I'm a
Mm.
chameleon now, but I just still don't want you to know that I'm all messed up on the inside. And some places where I stayed at, my brother asked me to tell you, could you come sit in the room with her? Now I'm in the room with the brother. Now I'm on the bed.
Mm.
I remember one time I had a good friend. I used to stay over there, and her uncle gave me a ride home one night, and he had ill intent, and how he raped me.
Mm.
He wrapped a belt around his fist and told me to shut up, and I submitted. And once I got up out of there, I just ran. I ran. I think I must have went to one of my friends' house that their mom loved me as a daughter, and I think I must just want to just wash all my skin off of me, everything. I hated my body. I hated my body. I was
Mm.
nicely shaped. I hated everything about me. It was instilled in me because I carried everybody else's shame, guilt, embarrassment. I carried what people threw on me, blaming me for what had happened to me. I started blaming me in the silence after the alcohol and the boat, all of that went down. And then I was going down more and more and more. I didn't notice it then until I got into recovery. I didn't know I was going down more and more and more. I was getting depressed more and more and more. How long
Mm-hmm.
can I hide this? How long can I hold on to this? I'm gonna need something else. There was a time that things settled down and stopped. I became a mother. I wanted to be a mother. I didn't know how to be a mother. I didn't want to make the mistakes that my mother did, because the first thing we always say, I ain't gonna be like my mom. I'm gonna treat my kids this, that, and the third. We would like to think that, but without the help, the proper help that we get, we wind up being just like the person that we say we don't want to be like because no
Mm.
one has taught us different. I wasn't taught different. And with the little time that I did have, she was grooming me up to be a beautiful young woman, a survivor, until someone snatched me out and threw me out into the wolves and abandoned me. My family abandoned me. They neglected me and they abandoned me and threw me out. And so, left to my own devices, what else was I supposed to do? Now I don't know nothing because I'm back in Traumaville.
Mm.
So I didn't know how to be a mom. My first daughter, I screamed and hollered on her, and that's when crack cocaine came about. I started sneaking and smoking it, and I'm telling her, "Be quiet, don't you say nothing, yada yada." And the feeling was okay, right? And I'm in there, and now because I'm maintaining, because I'm functional, I'm still moving. You know, I got cars, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but all I'm still in a mindset of hopelessness, helplessness. I'm still living off being the victim. Now I'm victimizing my child, telling her to be quiet. It's a secret. See, because that's what I learned. It's a secret.
Mm.
I made bad choices and bad decisions. By the time I had my third child, I had a second son, I was smoking even more, but I was in the closet with it. Still, right? By the time I had my third child, see, I got a little clean with my second child. By the time I had the third child, I was like, oh my God, things are going to finally turn around for me. I got caught with traces. They found it in my third son's system. They just didn't know what it was. It was traces. So they called Division of Youth and Family Services. So I'm like, okay, they're going to save me. They're going to help me, save me from me. And in turn, they turned around and raped me. They ruined my life. They took my children. They abandoned, they neglected me, and they used me as a political campaign.
Mm.
They used me to level all of them up. I was the poster child for these people. It was political.
Mm.
After they raped me, after all the rapes in the streets, after bad parenting, after living with the abuse, you know, I'm hitting rock bottom. I just don't care anymore. It can't get no worse than this, and it did. I went out and I must have used and used and used. 2 years later, after my son, I had a little girl. Now they told me if I cleaned up my act, come up clean with the baby, which I did. I started doing what they wanted me to do. They were lying to me. They were grooming me. They were setting me up. I did everything they asked me to do, and they took all my kids.
Mm.
And no one intercepted, stood in place. The people that I had on my team, eventually the lawyers and the doctors that I had, they couldn't even take it no more. They started crying for the way that this system had used me and abused me, had raped me, neglected me, abandoned me, and threw me out into the wolves. I didn't even have resources. They blackballed me. They did everything that they could. They used me as a campaign poster child. They used me for their own political gain. And I went down. Then I got involved. You know, this is my daughter's father, my last baby father. I got involved with them. Didn't know he was a part of a group that set up people, this, that, and the third. I loved this man, or so I thought I did. I thought I had a friend. I thought we could work this out together. I thought we could be together. We could help each other survive. I'm still not knowing it's still people pleasing. I'm looking for love now. Everything is
Mhm.
gone from me. This is all I got left is him. And he used me and abused me. And him and his friends saw that I never had nothing. They were in a gang. They had me thrown out of places. I had nothing. And I walked around with a bag lady. I was just carrying bags. I didn't have anything. I remember one time I just sat in the rain and just started crying. I used to walk up and down the streets with nowhere to go, no food, no nothing. You know, and people were, you know, some people were, they were in their glory about it. They were glorifying it. It was something for them, because some of them that were in my life, even in families, always thought that I felt like I was better than everybody because I got the good grades, because my great aunt did take care of me, because my grandma, my dad, and my great uncle and my great aunt saved me for the time that they did.
Mm.
Something my mother didn't want. See, my mother didn't care for me. My mother hated the ground that I walked on. And all I was looking for was her to love me. I remember when I got pregnant and I wanted to stay there with her. And we got into an argument. She was like, "You had that baby. You need to hell out of my house." This, that. My mother treated me like I wasn't nothing. And at the time, I didn't know that that's what happened as a baby. And, and when she started triggering more trauma in me. I just wanted her to love me. Why can't you treat me at least halfway the way you treat the rest of them? Because that's their own personal journey. That's their story they got to tell. But I know that, guess what? If she was like that with me, and if it was here before I got here, it's a part of the generational curse and the generational makeup that I come from. So we all cut from that cloth. You know what I mean? But that's their story to tell. So I just wanted her to love me, something she didn't have for me. She couldn't even stand my father. My mother had kids while she was married to my father. See, my father couldn't take care of me because he had become an alcoholic. This is a man that loved a woman that couldn't care less about him. And when she had me and I looked just like him and the spitting image of him, it was over for me. And my father loved me with everything in his being until somebody killed him. And I live with that because every day I still miss my dad because we did have a bond, right? My dad, give me a moment. My mother hated me. My mother separated all her kids. She did for who she wanted to do for, and I was not one of the top 10s on out of her 11 kids. I was not the one. My kids weren't the one. My sister and all of them. My mom had, they, like I said, they went through their own trauma, right? There's a whole lot of stories beyond that, but my mom always made me feel like the outcast, and she always told them how to treat me too. And so when I got in that way, they found, and I always say this, they felt like they were in a position now they can dog me, disrespect me, and not knowing that they were doing it anyway, more. You know what I mean? Because mommy always said you thought you was better than everybody. You think you white, which I am. You know what I'm saying? That is who I am too, right? And some of my brothers are too, right? You just think you better than everybody, this, that, and the third. That's all I heard through all the ordeal that I was going through. And they had to actually put a name on why my family, people on the streets, diapers, and everybody did the things that they did to me. They called it the big payback. They actually put a name for it. And I was blackballed. I didn't have nothing to nobody. I didn't even have family, and so I'm running around now. I'm on fire. I'm relapsing because DIFAS done sent me to set up rehabs to go into that war on their team. So I come out and I'm relapsing, which is good. It works in their favor. They sending me to their psychs that tell me one thing, that I'm this way, that I'm taking all the IQ tests, passing everything, but go in the courtroom, they telling them a whole different thing. This is their team. So my team went and got me a criminologist, a man that deals with the criminal minds. That's me and him sat down and we talked, and we just sat there and talked. He was amazed of how intelligent and how I spoke well. That how can a bunch of people label you as this? And I'm seeing you this way. So I'm so sure you sat in there and talked to them the same way. But when they got their reports, you judges that was out there, they told me that I wasn't fit. Nothing. And I at the end, in the end, I just wanted to die. They were giving me all kind of drugs out there in the streets. You know what? I was hoping they would give me something that would just end me. I just want to die. I don't even want to die. I'm not going back to no more rehab. I'm not going nothing. They got my kids, this, that. I'm hearing my kids crying in my head. My kids are not with me. You go through some psychological stuff. People like to say you're crazy. No, when somebody has tortured you, tormented you, traumatized you to that level, and you don't know why, and all you wanted was some help. I'm amazed that I'm still here today.
All praises.
Same.
All praises.
All praises. All praises. In 2012, I was weighing 98 pounds. I was wearing
Mm.
a zero, a size one, beaten, ripped, tattered, torn, still trying to give the strength up to just somebody just give me a it that would it would just be it. I just don't want to live. I don't want nothing else. I don't want to live. But apparently it wasn't in the master's plan.
All praises.
Any and everything that I tried or they gave me that to try to out me, it didn't it listen, I tried all kind of stuff. It didn't work. It
Mm.
didn't work. And now I'm up here arguing with God. Why are you doing this to me? Listen, what is
Indeed.
wrong with you? You
Indeed.
need to come and get, you know what I mean? Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. hmm 2012, I dragged myself down to the street. I don't know. It was just something. I went to my sister-in-law's house and I had got punched in the mouth and beaten up by this guy. And all of this is why, like, that my story, my scars tell a story, and I'm still beautiful with it. So once they removed one teeth, all the teeth started coming up because they were telling me about all the abuse that was going on. Because see, we are abused not just up in here, but all up in here and here too. When you go through a lot of abuse, we forget to think that none of this is affected. These or anything else gets affected with that, but it does. Not taking care of yourself properly. Afraid. To go and get some help, even medical help, because somebody's
Mm-hmm.
going to see me or know me now. Now I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm
Yep.
in guilt. You know what I mean? And so, I, my sister-in-law see me. She said, "I can't see you like this no more. You gotta go." I'm telling you, I sat on the porch. My son was waving to me in the car out the back seat. I got up. I was so tired. I was so tired. I managed to walk all the way down to Joyce Kilmer School.
Mm.
I knocked on the door with a little bit of energy, and I had left. They opened up the door. These two sisters, my Caucasian sister and my black sister, came out from the guidance office as the secretary told them, "We got to help her." That wasn't nobody but God.
All
Even though
praise.
me and him was arguing though. Uh-huh. I walked up and I walked up and they came and they grabbed me one on one other. They laid me down. They was like, "Go get her a cup of ice and keep bringing the water," because I was dehydrated. I
Mm.
was, listen, you could see the bones.
Mm.
I was so sunk in. I couldn't even eat because we out in the streets. Junk food is our food.
Mm-hmm.
Junk food, beer, cigarettes until we get to crack.
Mm.
So my stomach shrunk because all it could consume was the junk food, potato chips, candy, stuff that keeps you running and fueled up. Even after the fuel from the crack then went down, but you're still fueled up running off of that. You know what I mean? Until
Mm-hmm.
it all comes down, then it comes a big crash. You know what I mean? Now you down to ground zero looking for another hero, looking to try to find one more. You know, so I was dehydrated from all of that, and so they got a lot of water. They started talking to me. I was so tired, I was just drifting off, right? And so because I can remember I was sleeping on the porches, I was sleeping in cars. At this point, I didn't have nothing. I didn't have nobody. You know, they got on the phone and they started calling around, and they were like, "If we do this for you, would you be able to go?" I said yes. I cried so much. I said, "Yeah, I just want somebody to help me. I don't know no more. I just want somebody to help me." They got me into a program in Atlantic City, John Brooks Recovery Center. And They called there and they told them I had to be there that next morning. They had a bed. If I wasn't there at that time, they had to give it to the next person in line. So they was like, "Well, Shirley, this is what they told me. She said that she's going to take you." So they must have called my brother and his wife. So I'm thinking it was my sister-in-law. But get this, this is just how God works in mysterious ways. I winded up going to the other Shirley's house, my great aunt's daughter, that
Mm.
neglected and abandoned me and threw me out to the wolves. I'm knocking on her door because she lived down the street from my sister-in-law, my brother, and I go and knock on her door. I said, "Okay, I'm here," and they told me that you was going to take me to Atlantic City. So she like this, and she was like, "But you know what she did?" She said, "Come on in." She said, "Yep, I'm gonna take you to Atlantic City." So she called the school, she got the directions and everything. Now I'm thinking it's the other person. This is how God will bring you right back to the
Mm.
same person that hurt you, neglected, and abandoned you. He brought me right back to her and her back to me. It was her time to now take care of me. And I
Mm.
always see God works in mysterious ways. It is your time to now go take care of her. You abandoned her, you neglected her, and you sent her out there because you thought you know the secret, the sickness, and it was all about her, the self-centeredness. It wasn't about nothing else. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about my great. It was about her pain. She that day, I got in the tub. She fixed dinner, and she got everything that I needed. We went out. We went shopping. She was like, "What size do you wear?" And I said a 0 to a 1. She bought me all the clothes, everything that I needed, even my cigarettes. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, and at the time, the facilities you could still smoke. And I think about 4 months into the program, they stopped. You can smoking cigarettes inside the facility. You could go outside, and so I'm in there for the first 2 months. But when I got there, I'm moving too fast. When I got there, once they took my luggage and everything and had to go through them. They had to go through a different process. Once you get into the facility and they told her she has to come over here on this side. Once I went over on that side, it was it. I gave her a hug and everything. It was it. But guess what? When she started leaving because she couldn't come no further, triggered. She abandoned and neglected me again. At this
Mm.
moment, now she done abandoned and neglected me again. So I'm hurting on the inside. Now I'm in a place of uncertainty. I don't know these people. You're going to leave me here. My mind just went back into trauma. I immediately went
Mm.
into trauma. I got upstairs. They let you rest for a day or two, whatever. I was very resistant. I was very resistant to change because I didn't know nothing about change. I'm familiar with that. So I was resistant for the first couple of months. I wouldn't participate. They would be like telling me, "Miss Darlene, do you want to speak today?" No. Okay, well, you're all right, Miss Darlene. You don't have to speak. Now I'm mad at them. How you want to ask me, do I want to speak now? You don't want me to talk? What's wrong with y'all? I thought you're supposed to be helping me. I'm going through with them in there now. They was like, "Okay, Miss Darlene, tomorrow might be a better day. Leave me alone."
Oh wow.
I was damaged. I was messed up. So he was
Mhm.
like, "Okay, Miss Darlene, tomorrow you can speak. Such and such, would you like to share?" Now I'm looking at such and such. How you want to talk to her? Then you was talking to me. I'm going through. I'm going through. Now you're ignoring me. I'm going through some stuff. So, they was like, "Okay, Miss Darlene, when you feel better, you can talk. Right now, you can't talk anymore." She's talking. "Oh, I went through some stuff." Right.
I love it.
So, after the 2 months, finally, I started, you know, unraveling. They started piece by piece because they told me, they were like, "You are so damaged that we got to take delicate steps with you because it's so much damage,
Mm-hmm.
inside of you. We got to go inside of you first and see nobody has ever done that because me and my buddy, my pain, listen,
Mm-hmm.
you not going to touch pain. You going to leave us alone.
Mm.
Ms. Robin said, pain going to leave you alone and you going to learn how to leave pain when pain starts hurting you. Because we got to recondition you because it's in your thinking. You need to do something different, And so, man, I tell you, um, unaliving that trauma.
I know.
Oh my God. You telling me I don't have to live like this no more? That don't have to be my friend. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to walk around here with shame and guilt and all alone. I'm processing all this, right? But this is my friend. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to be Shanae. Now I'm talking to Pain. You think, let me talk to Pain for a minute. Pain said not right now. Pain said not right now. They was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Miss Darlene, okay. Next day I come in here, I'm back there, I'm doing the Shanae again. Matter of fact, go ahead, Pain. I want to talk today. So they was like, well, what you want to share about, Miss Darlene? So little bit of things. And then little bit of things started to become bigger things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every day, little things started becoming bigger things. The little tears became bigger tears. I mean, I'm because I've been always crying on the inside. I'm drowning on the inside. I need for this to pour out.
Mm.
I needed for it to pour out. I mean, one time I was in there just crying. And so some of the girls wanted to hug me. They was like, don't nobody move. Let her cry. Now, listen, I thought we was tight. We working in therapy. I need a hug. Oh, we tight. We working on me. No, they was like, no, you don't need a hug. You need to pour all that out. And I didn't understand that. So now I'm arguing with the counselor. What you mean? They was like, oh Lord, Miss Darlene, you're going back again. All right, next person's on. No, hold up now. I thought we was working together on this. I just need a hug. But I realized going through the program, going through that, I didn't need that hug. I needed to unleash. I needed to cry all that pain up out of me. I didn't understand it then. I didn't understand it then. I needed to pour all of that pain from the inside out. And so I sat there and I snotted and I'm crying. My eyes are swollen. I did not realize that I had so much balled up inside of me. Living with the abuse, merely existing. And so days turned into weeks. And so I'm prospering, but I'm still doing stuff in the program. Now they got me some stuff, because you got to earn some stuff. Now I got to earn the phone. Okay, now I'm Big Willie. Y'all look out for such and such. Now I'm still acting out. Y'all look out. I'm gonna go on the phone. I got caught. They was like, Miss Darlene, good God. Sometimes they used to tell me, Miss Darlene, sometimes I feel like going in a circle messing with you. I'm like, oh, damn. All right, I'm going to be good tomorrow. He's like, Miss Darlene, you ain't going shopping, right? All right. What I got to do? You got 1 week. You got to clean all upstairs because, we got to be rehabilitated. You got to learn how to wash. You got to learn how to clean clothes. You got to do chores. You got to cook. We had to do all that stuff all over again. Right. All right. I thought I learned my lesson from the first time not going shopping. I messed around and did something too, but I made my way up out of it. I was real good that time. I wanted to go to the beach. I was real good. I was like,
oh man.
I started Miss Robin. Miss Robin, she was the coordinator. She was the manager. And she used to tell me, she said, good God Almighty, girl, sometimes I feel like going in that circle messing with you. Because one time I got so good, she was like, that's it, you going home. You are going home. I was cutting up too after I got a little bit of vibrance in me. Now I ain't got that stillman nut with me. I got a little bit of vibrance. Now I'm outside. I'm cutting up. See, because I didn't know you guys leave all that. Your ideas, attitudes, and behaviors. You got to, you got to leave them too, right? And Ms. Roberts said, "That's it. You going home." I sat down. I went outside. Ms. Roberts said, "Go get that girl. Go get that girl." So Ms. Roberts brought me all the way back upstairs. She said, "Let me tell you something. We get phone calls about you every day. Everybody," she said, "it's a lot of people that call up here about you, that told us a lot about you. Your school days, you smart, this, that." She said, "I can see that in you right now." She said, "Go back out there and sit down in group. I ain't gonna put you out because that's what you want me to do." And yeah, I did. Because a part of me was still fiending. Now I'm in Atlantic City. I got a little clean time. Okay, I'm in a new place now. They don't know me. Me cut up and go outside, see if I can get one. You know what I'm saying? That if I got to keep it real and honest. Robin brought me right back in because I was about to trolley on down that street. Robin said, "Go get her and bring up." She said, "I know what you want to do." She said, "But I'm not going to give it to you. I think I had like 3 more months to go." She said, "You're going to do every 3 months of it. You're going to sit in that circle. You're going to do chores. You're going to write. You're going to go to class," because we had to write our life stories. We had to take classes. We had to do a whole lot of things. And I did. I sat there and I made a conscious decision.
Oh, praises.
I made a conscious decision to commit in myself because people are believing in me. And there must be something good inside of me for somebody to care about me like that. See, because they first started off showing me, and then I started showing them me too. Now I'm gonna tell them how to help me. No, that's not how you're supposed to help me. And I say, I'm off. It's my thinking. Hey, how you supposed to help me? You supposed to help me and pain. You see, I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? How the hell you gonna how you gonna make pain better? You can't, you and pain don't go together anymore. It's about you right now, young lady. We getting ready to separate you and pain. Finally, I allowed them to separate me and pain, and I told pain by see. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that I could live without you. And now that I do know it, I don't think I want to live with you anymore. Matter of fact, I know I want to live with you anymore. Because you hurt. Wow. I hurt when I'm with you. You know what I mean? So, 4th month, I'm just eating. I'm doing all kind of stuff. So I'm in my 4th month there. I gained so much weight. I'm not that little Skeletor that walked up in there. So, 5th month come around. So the cook in the kitchen, he said, "Good Lord, Miss Darlene, we may have to wheelbarrow you up out of here." I'm in there eating stuff, all kind of stuff. I'm like 210 now. I'm pumping and puffing with my ass. I'm just, walking around like the Michelin Man. I'm just big as I don't know what, right? So now come the time after I done put myself into the committing, process, committing myself to becoming a better person. Now I'm open-minded. My ears are open. My eyes are starting to see things. I'm learning to be quiet. Every now and again. Every now and again. I learned how to be quiet though. And things started happening. Things started resonating inside of me. You know what I'm saying? And it started feeling. It was a feeling that it was a good feeling. Like this is a feeling I never had before. Like it was. Wow, I liked. Yeah. Okay. But then the part came when the 6 months started arriving. I have to do my life story.
Mm.
I have to face it by
Mm.
writing my life story. And see, once I put it on paper, it started coming to life as they were
Mhm.
telling me, you listen, by the time you get up out of here, you will not be carrying the weight of what everybody put on you because the responsibility lied on people that were adults that were supposed to take care of you too. They made you feel all the pain, the shame, the guilt, and the embarrassment that they were going through, that they were living with. They put all of that on you, and none of this was your fault.
Mm. Oh,
None
praise.
of this was your fault.
Oh.
And that did something to me. My brain started shifting and my tears started rolling even more. And I did the life story and I expected more trauma to come out, but because I decided to make a conscious decision and let them work on the inside out
Mm-hmm.
therapeutically,
Mm-hmm.
I cried, but I didn't die no more on the inside.
Mm. I
I
love
didn't
it.
die no more in the inside. And I walked out of there. I was afraid, but I walked out of there with my head held high. And Miss Robert said, when you get home, always remember there's going to always be somebody out there that's going to want to take you all the way back down. And in my early recovery, I went through some stuff before I made the 12.
Mm.
People were using me, they were abusing me. I was gullible, I was naive, I was starting to people please. I wanted people to see me. The same mistake I made in my first rounds of
Mm-hmm.
in recovery. See, I started going back to the process of okay, that thing that happened when I was with Dyfus, this, that, and the third. See, because I did when I went in, I didn't do it for them, and they didn't want me to do it for me. They did it for them, and I caught myself doing it for everybody else. See, I did it for everybody else, and they didn't care about it.
Mm.
And they didn't care about me. They didn't care about my children. They didn't care as I did it for them. This time I did it for me. And
Oh.
even though I got caught up in my feelings the first 5, 6 years before I made the 12-year mark, I told myself, you know what? I almost relapsed. And I keep it 100. I did. I almost relapsed. I just said, I'm going to give everybody what they want. The people wanted me to be broken, bitter, down to ground zero. Some people were still in their feelings about whatever they were feeling because it didn't have nothing to do with me. I learned all that in the program. It didn't have nothing to do with me. They in
At
their
all.
feelings because whatever they were going through, based on how they were taught up or brought up, or based on how they felt about me, which ain't got nothing to do with me.
And it ain't none of your business.
Right. And I almost
Mm-hmm.
got caught up back in that. And I said, you know what? No, you're not. No, you're not. No matter what this man did you, your family doing to you, this, that, and the third, you gonna push. You gonna make that mark. You gonna push, and you gonna keep pushing, and you gonna keep pushing. You gonna do it in
Mm.
spite of everything. Whatever you got to do, I did whatever it took, and I made the mark.
All praises.
And by God's graces and His mercy, I'm sitting up here my sharing, telling and sharing my experience, strength, and hope. I made it to the other side, and life was waiting right there for me. The life
Mm.
I thought I never had, that I would never have, that I never knew, was right there as it was pushing me through, pulling me through. All I had to do was keep pushing. And once I opened up that door, life showered
Yep.
all over me.
Yep.
Life showered all over me. And today,
Yep.
here I stand, and I used the phoenix, see, because I was on fire. See, because the phoenix starts out on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out on fire until the fire goes out and it turns into ashes. And out of the ashes becomes the phoenix. See, now I have become the phoenix. Out of the ashes, I rise.
Mm.
I
I
have
love it.
risen from out of the ashes, you know. And I just want to tell any and everybody that is going through something, let me tell you something. It's no walk in the park.
It's
Some
not.
days, I had a bad day at work today. You know what I mean? I had to put a lot of people in their place and walk out the building because that's where I was at with the hostility and the arrogance and the childishness and the ghetto-ness of this corporation that allows other Black women to just do whatever they want to do. You know, they're forcing people out to find other jobs, or they are firing people at will. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how much we complain to the same people in the corporation, they just keep patting each other on the back. And so the day pressure kind of bust pipes. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? You good, girl, because you identify, you know what I'm saying? They done triggered you because you done took enough of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning the triggers, you know what I'm saying? And nonetheless, we go through some stuff, we get through some
Yeah, we
stuff.
do. We do.
Me and life, me and life tight. Me and life has become very tight. That's my new best friend. You know what I mean? In spite of everything, I've lost friends. I've been through so much, a lot in this last 12 years, you know what I'm saying? But I've gotten through it without the use of a drink or a drug. I'm 6 years, I'll be 7 years clean off of smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? And my health is my wealth today. I take good care of me. You know what I'm saying? I buy teeth. I buy me new teeth all the time. I'm just gonna go get me some veneers, you know what I'm saying? I take care of myself. You know what I mean? I don't look to people, to not that my great aunt and them raised us like that, because with her I had everything, my room, clothes, this, that, and the third, my own stuff, and so it just kind of came back, naturally. You know what I'm saying? Once I got out of the addiction and the addictive abuse and the addictive patterns and abuse that I was living, with, you know what I mean? With the abandonment issues, neglecting not just myself, but my kids to a degree, you know what I'm saying? Wanting somebody to help me, and got neglected and abandoned through all that too. I went through some stuff. I didn't give up on me this time.
Indeed.
I didn't give up on me this time.
Yeah, because just because we get sober and clean doesn't mean life stops. Life
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're gonna go through some stuff. I just told you I just went through some stuff today. And I listen, everybody had that. Now I got everybody's attention in the building. Now everybody want to stand up. Tell me, what's wrong, Miss Darlene? Go ahead with that gaslighting. So I got exactly what's wrong, but that's not to say that we don't go through stuff. It's we go through it. It's not how I'm gonna say it. It's how you get through it. It's how you get through it.
How you handle
it. It's how you handle it. See, I got tools today. And I know, even though I suffer from anxiety disorder, which, I had a stroke in 2018, you know what I'm saying? Look at me. I've been through so much stuff. I had to learn how to walk and talk, everything in recovery, right? But look at me.
Indeed. I'm so proud of you, man. Hearing it again, I heard it a couple years ago, but hearing it again, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? I almost was in like tears, like, that's a lot, man. Like, you know what I mean? And I could relate to, I went through this tragic joint. I had a 10-year tragic experience, you know what I'm saying? So I can understand, man, you know what I'm saying? Finding my wife murdered and then me being the suspect, you know what I'm saying, for 6 years and then another 4 years for the trial and getting addicted to alcohol. And I understand. So a lot of the stuff you was talking about, I could relate to, you know what I'm saying? Like just being in that state when the alcohol turned on me. Because at first it was working. And then when it got to the end, it was like in the beginning, it was like 100% of the time, it was euphoria. It was zero depression. You know what I'm saying? Then it went from the 75% fun, 25% depression. Then it went 50-50. Then it went to 25% fun, 75% depression. Then it went to 0% fun and 100% depression. But my brain told me it was going to be like it was before. The next day when I was about to drink again, my brain told me, just use me. Remember me? It's going to be back. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to you and relating and going.
Yeah, because we always look for that. Like I learned in the program, you're gonna always chase that one high, right? One is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. And like I said, like not me being a first time winner, I used to sit up in the meetings and everything too. I used to be there, that boy too. All right, I'm doing okay. Whatever y'all say, I need to know. Hurry up so I can get back outside. My counselors, I used to be in all kind of programs, inpatient and out. They used to be like, Miss Darlene, uh-huh. Right now, I'm
Mm-hmm,
not interested. Because that's where we be at. I'm not right now. You got to be
mm-hmm,
really
mm-hmm,
ready to take on this thing called
mm-hmm,
life. You got to really be
mm-hmm.
acceptance of it. Like
You
acceptance
got,
is the key.
I
You
had
know,
that. I had that. God blessed me the second time with that gift of desperation. I didn't have that gift of
right?
desperation the first time. Like I didn't have that. Like I didn't.
Mhm.
I thought I needed the help, but I don't know why my mic doing that. Once I got out of detox, I had went to the rehab. Like man, I start comparing myself to the people instead of identifying them.
Right,
Like I was only drinking a pint.
right,
I was drinking a pint a day. They was drinking like half gallons. I was like, I'm not like them.
right.
Uh, so
Hmm.
I got a couple questions because I don't want this mic thing to mess up. It seemed like it's messing up before, so we could get them in.
Yeah.
How do you handle people, places, and things?
People, places, and things I handle like this. Listen, you're gonna have to let people be people. And some places I just don't go around. I just don't even entertain it. And things I just do differently. People are going to be people, and it's listen. I says if I'm going to be around you, I'm gonna have to understand that you are you, and you need to understand that I am me. And if we can't meet somewhere in the middle, all right, people, you go over there. Let me be my people right here with me, right? Because I had to learn that you can't change people, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things
Mm-hmm.
that I cannot change. That's people.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, Places. I try not to go around a lot of places where I know that people are still the same, that remain the same, and that can cause not just themselves harm, but I can cause myself harm interacting with their attitude, ideas, and behaviors that they still have. Them not seeing them as the problem, always seeing somebody else as the problem. So I try to avoid them type of people, them type of places and things. I just don't even, I do things differently. I just do things differently now. Am I saying no? I fall short. I can easily get caught up still in people, places, and things. But you know what? How are you going to get through this? What are you going to do different, Darlene, this time about people, places, and things? I'm going to try my
Mm-hmm.
best to avoid all of that. I'm going to go a different route. See, guys, I don't have to run. I'm going to walk around the corner. I'm going to walk that way. Or I'm going to get on the bus. I'm going to catch an Uber, this, that, and the third. So I don't have to run no more because I'm not running, especially from me. So I know I ain't got to run from you because I ran from me all my life.
Mm-hmm.
In some
What?
parts, I did run from the abuse and I ran from that. But today, it's about doing things different.
What advice do you have for the newcomer that's still, or the person that's still out there suffering?
One day at a time. Um, is it easy? No. Um, Start believing in yourself. You know, the change starts from within. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's not easy. It's a process. Take baby steps. Listen, nobody is no better than you. Nobody is bigger than you. Nobody is lower than you. Make it about you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Seek help. You know what I'm saying? And I know with us, right? We resistant people, and we will try to tell people how to help us. You know what I'm saying?
um,
I told you I went that program. That's not how you help me.
mm,
All right.
um,
It's about self-preservation, and it's not an easy process once you have been stuck together, glued together, bonded with that pain. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
mm,
It's not impossible. The word impossible says I'm possible.
Indeed. Indeed. How
You
did
know.
you? Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Where
Hold
you
on.
go?
My thing messed up. I knew I should have. Hold up. My thing messing up now. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. So hold up. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Hold up. All right.
There you go.
Hold up. See my thing. My thing messing up. So let's just end it right here. So because I don't want to lose this. It's been such a great
Yeah.
interview. Yeah, I don't want to lose it. So thanks for coming on, Darlene. And
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed. I don't know what was going on, but we got the whole interview in, and I appreciate you for coming on. And I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. And
All
thank
right.
you. All
All right.
right.
Thank you. All right. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
I don't know what happened, but the Most High, there was all types of stuff going on, but the Most High allowed us to get it in. StreamYard was bugging tonight. You can see my green screen in the back now. I don't know what was going on with StreamYard, but it was bugging out. We got the whole interview in. The adversary. Wow. Your browser lost connection to your camera. All right.